These lights are like so bright. Like do I have my sunglasses? Like y'all don't know how badly I be wanting to do the show like this. This is actually amazing. This like minus me looking super pretentious and super annoying. I would prefer to do this. Actually, I'm completely lying. The little side note about this, because a lot of y'all only know the podcast through because I had Eric with me, and Eric was the one that forced me to get a camera and record and do the 2 angle shots. This is all because of Eric, and Eric isn't here right now, so I have to put on these bright ass goddamn lights and just have them in like my retinas. Like I really feel like in the next 2 years I'm gonna need glasses or something like that. These lights are so bright, guys. Like, this is my 3rd video. Looking into that light makes it seem like I'm squinting, like I'm sleep talking, and because and I'm fasting right now, so like when my eyes get close together, in other words, when my eyes are about to close, I get sleepy because I'm hungry, and in an effort to like not be like hungry or to take my mind off the hunger, I try and like record as many podcasts and just stay busy. But eventually I run out of energy, and that's one of these things. But hopefully my aggression and hate towards the dumb people of this world will give me the energy I need to finish out strong. Let's talk about people who just don't have common decency. Welcome to another episode. No, that hurts. I'm doing it. Welcome back to the Identity Booth. It is me, Hero, and you are watching the amalgamation of my strife and dedication to you guys. So like, share, subscribe. You've been getting that good content from me, and there's no better way to show your appreciation than to, like, share, and subscribe, man. Comment below. Make sure you hit the bell. My goal is to put a lot of this stuff out. I don't know if my eyes start hurting again, I'm gonna put it back on. But my goal is to try and get you guys as much content as possible. A lot of things are probably happening to me right now. I don't know when this will be coming out, but hopefully the stay in place order hasn't been lifted in your area, because I highly doubt that this will be coming out before the vaccine. But like, I know the coronavirus is sort of the taboo thing, and a lot of people don't want to talk about it, so let's not talk about it. But what we can talk about is my disdain for people, like just dumb people. And when shaming people needs to be brought back in some capacity. Like people who do dumb shit in public, like they need to be forced to wear like the scarlet letter. I don't know if that's what the scarlet letter was supposed to represent. I think it was like for people who were having sex underage. I don't know, but like with people who are dumb or people who are of no use to society, like the inventions of seatbelts, medication have kept the cesspool of stupidity alive and well in America. And there's just people that I just want to talk about how people are not handling this pandemic well, and not even from standpoint of like just doing what's right. Remember when the pandemic first started and people just went out and started buying toilet paper for no reason? Like the rule, what the people were saying, go wash your hands, stay 6 feet apart from each other, and everyone immediately went outside and bought toilet paper. The full disclosure, I have yet to buy toilet paper because I'm an adult who uses baby wipes. If you use tissue paper and tissue paper alone, you don't love yourself. I can say that. You don't love yourself. Could you imagine putting that dry piece of wood up your ass, wiping? No. Need something that's gonna be gentle to the touch. Your anus deserves better. Baby wipes are meant for adults. There's this thing called dude wipes. This is a shameless plug. Dude wipes, I love it. Their wipes are big. I love it. And they're flushable. And they're environmentally friendly. Dude wipes. I'm going to look them up, put them in the description below. Go get you some. Guys, listen, take my advice. It's great. But like, people are dumb. Like, you will use a grocery cart, and there's a place for you to put the grocery cart, and people will leave them in parking spots. Like, people are gross, disgusting, annoying, and sometimes I wonder why I have so much faith in humanity when I'm constantly being let down by humanity. Let me give you some more examples. Not even recently, every two weeks I go out grocery shopping because that's the only thing I can do. I haven't been to the gym in 7 weeks. I'm fasting right now. I'm an essential worker, so I literally haven't put gas in my car in 6 weeks. Like, that's how little driving I'm doing. School is canceled, so everything's at home, and I've just been at home. So when I do go outside, it's always an experience for me, and it's like, I'm always shocked because, like, I see people doing stuff. I see people out not obeying social distancing rules, not having their mask on in public, and there's a part of me that, like, just shrivels up inside because I remember when the pandemic first happened, a lot of young people were all about, a lot of young people were all about, proper distancing, proper social distancing, taking care of things. But then something happened. We found out who this disease was more likely to kill. And that's when shit started getting real. Because ironically, there was a group of people, and this is just from my own observation, when the pandemic first started picking up speed, or when people started hearing about it, old people were being a lot more precautious. Old people were staying away from things, doing like this. But now young people were like berating older generations, peoples and stuff like this to, don't go outside. But then a tide happened. We found out who it was killing. We found out it was killing black and brown people and old people a lot more than anybody. So then this group of people, which I'll call not necessarily millennials, but I think some Gen X, especially millennials and Gen X for sure. Gen Zs are probably following the rules. Probably no, Gen Zs too. That demographic said, "Oh, we're out in the clear. We're good." And you started seeing people throwing big house parties like the one in Chicago. You started seeing people go to the beaches just one day after they being lifted. Like, Wisconsin Supreme Court voted down the stay-at-home order, so they're opened all the way, no questions asked. Rest in peace, Wisconsinites. Rest in peace. Just because they open up the store, you want to know when I'm going to go back outside? You want to know when I'm going to go back on an airplane? When they open back up the White House for tours. Get fucked. You want to know when it's safe to go outside? Try and go do a national tour at the National Museum or some shit. That's when it's going to be safe to go outside. When the rich white people in this country start doing it, then it's safe for you to start doing it. At least when the pandemic, because don't you dare think it's okay to go into an abandoned house. Not an abandoned house, a house under construction to, just look around like every other white person, because you will be shot dead. Rest in peace. 223. My disdain for people not wearing masks is just above me. Now, like, if you don't have a mask, that's one thing. If you don't know where to get a mask, that's another thing. But not even making a concerted effort to protect yourself. So, like, I have so many questions when I see someone not wearing a mask. Do you not and I know why they're not wearing a mask. But, like, let's just go down this rabbit hole. Are you not wearing the mask because you believe, like, the disease is fake? You don't know anyone that's been affected by the disease. Or are you angry at the disease because people believe in it and you don't? But say, for example, you work at a restaurant, it's been shut down, even though you've not seen anyone being affected. And I could see why Nebraska hillbillies might believe that this disease isn't real, because it hasn't hit us. I think we have like 300 people who have contracted it and probably 200 that have died. So in with a state of 5 million, I think, like, you probably won't see people die from this disease that you know. So you lost your job, you're struggling over a disease that has yet to introduce itself to you. So you're a little angry. That, and or probably this, and this is the one, no, this is not the ultimate one, but here's the one that I think a lot of people just actively fall into. Because if you put on a mask, you willingly accept the science. You succumb to the disease. You feel like you're admitting that this disease is bigger than you. And I think that's like a coping mechanism for people. Like, oh, if I admit that, if I put on the mask, and that shows that I'm afraid, and that's something that the Trump administration is doing. Here's Pence, and this is why there's people within the White House now who have the coronavirus. His chauffeur, Stephen Miller's fiance, go fuck herself. Pence went to a hospital without a mask. Trump went to a mask making shop without a mask. Do you know how dumb you have to be, like, not to wear a mask in a shop that designs and makes masks? You're openly inviting people to listen. And that's the thing about having Trump in office, because regardless of if he wants to be a role model or not, he is. He brought up hydroxychloroquine, and a husband and wife in Arizona drank the sulfated version of it that's used to clean fish bowls and tanks and died. He mentioned Z-Packs. He mentioned bullshit. And people in Africa were overdosing on this drug. Words matter, especially when you're the fucking president of the United States. And Trump is an idiot. This is the same guy that said, let's inject Lysol into our veins to kill the virus. He is an idiot. Don't you dare doubt it for a second. You're a Republican. You love him. You're an idiot. If you can acknowledge he's an idiot and still be a Republican, then I really wonder, like, do you hate black people that much? Do you hate brown people that much? Do you hate poor people that much? How rich are you? Because there's always poor Republicans that seem to like him more than it. Because if Trump ever saw you in his hotel, he would call security on you whether you were black, white, or brown. You're poor. You're not one of them. And my last point to why people don't want to wear the mask is because people are inherently, or without a shadow of a doubt, given the opportunity, bad. The older I get, the worse off people become. Because whether you want to believe it or not, it's not kids who start wars. It's adults. And as you get older, you become more stiff and stagnant to people. And the more stiff and abrasive you become, the more likely you are to give no fucks about people. I'm not going to sit here and lie. If there was a perfect stranger sitting next to me and a bear walked through my door, I'm kicking that person in the kneecap. Nah, that's a lie. Because there's a part of me that genuinely believes that I would outrun that person anyway. So I don't have to take a cheap shot. But there are people in this world who are okay with the cheap shot. And those are the people that don't want to wear the mask. They don't want to wear the mask. And that's concerning. That's concerning on so many levels, because it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt the person next to you. So it's just you saying openly, I don't care about anyone else or myself. It is a blatant disregard for your own well-being. And that is what dumb people don't understand about politics, about this virus, about just being a human being. If this has taught me anything, it has shown me that the people, like, there are these social experiments that people do to try and figure out what people are thinking. This is a perfect example. If there was a pandemic that we knew spread person to person who was less than 6 feet apart and don't have a mask on, and all you had to do was to minimize this effect was to wear a mask, would you do it? If you weren't, no gun to your head, no nothing, would you do it? And we're seeing the groups of people that do it. And granted, there's some people who can't afford masks, like the fucking officers in the Bronx in New York. They finally had to put out a notice to stop harassing black and brown people for not wearing masks, because guess what? They can't afford the mask. They don't know where to find masks. They don't sell masks at the fucking gas station. You know, when you're grocery store poor and you have to travel 17 miles to find fresh fruit, you're not going to find a fucking mask. But the New York Police Department, they don't care. Fucking animals. Fucking animals. Because there are pictures of them, literally, I'll find them and I'll put them up. There's pictures of them handing out masks to these affluent white people living in the rich part of the neighborhood. And then here they are berating and badgering and beating these poor black and brown people for not having a mask. Here, they literally pulled a man off of a bus. I think this happened in Philly. A man off of a bus for not having the mask. The person who first interacted with the person who didn't have the mask didn't have a mask. And ultimately, this problem could have been resolved if they just gave the person a mask. Hey, you don't have a mask on, sir. Here's a mask. They do it in every other country. This pandemic has also shown me how prepared I am to leave the country. I lived in Toronto for a year, and that year really opened my eyes to some things. The outside world isn't like this. America isn't that great. It is not great at all, to be honest, especially if you're a black or brown person. This country is hell on earth. Because you're afraid when a police officer walks past you. And if you're not, you're dead wrong. The bigger the strong. You don't got it going on. I went to Toronto for a year and never felt any tension. The only other time I've ever felt safer standing in America, the safest place I've ever felt in America was Pine Bluff, Arkansas. The safest I've ever felt in my life was in Lagos, Nigeria, sitting on the stair steps of Grace Academy. I really think moving to Toronto isn't a bad idea for me. Moving to Canada. Because common decency is a social thing. And I'm not saying, maybe I'm being a little brash. Maybe because I'm in a Republican state where, Republican people are listening to Trump. So maybe I'm in an echo chamber. I haven't been able to travel. I haven't been able to see how blue states are handling this. But when I see my friends online going out and about, there's a part of me that makes me worried. Like, are you being selfish? Like, your magical trip or whatever your vacation is, that shit is dead for 2020. Hot Girl Summer has been canceled. You're not traveling. People aren't graduating. I'm applying to PA school. I'm applying for my clinicals, and I have to do all my interviews via Skype. Thank God. Because I didn't have money to be traveling to go to these fucking schools to try and whimsical my way into their hearts and souls just for them to tell me no, or we found a better candidate. Okay. This pandemic, for as bad as it is, has also opened my eyes to some good. Air pollution's down. Gas prices are down. There wasn't a single school shooting in the whole entire month of March. The last time that happened was like in 2006. I haven't had to go into work. The bureaucracy of working in a hospital, fucking nurses and fucking bullshit that has to happen, bureaucracy. I haven't had to deal with that. This is the first time that I didn't get reprimanded for making someone feel. I said something that made someone feel bad. None of that bullshit. All my meetings, I can clearly hit two buttons. Speak when spoken to, or stay quiet. That is my life. I love it. I am an introvert who quickly runs out of extrovert energy. Fasting has drastically changed my diet. I'm damn near a vegetarian now. Like, I could sit here unequivocally and say things that are, and obviously the pandemic, I get it, guys. The pandemic is horrible because I've managed to find a silver lining is no excuse for the tragedy and literally the 100,000 people who are going to die from this disease by the end of the month. So, like, I get it. But there's been some things that we've learned in retrospect that it can help us avoid this in the future and prepare for the inevitability of the fall. Because if the vaccine is here to stop COVID-19, God have mercy on us if a mutation happens in the fall. And we're already seeing kids being affected by this new version that causes them to have like this caustic thing. I don't know the name of it. I'll type it up here, but we have to be cognizantly aware that this is not it. And it's not over. The worst is yet to happen. Countries that have started reopening, like the place that had the nightclub, I'll find the story where they had a nightclub where they opened up a bar in a nightclub. One person still didn't, the contact tracing found that this one person had it and he gave it to 54 people in that one night. We're still learning about this virus and people are prepared to put it to the wayside. This virus can be transmitted through semen, through farts. It gives kids different versions of diseases. There's 3 strands of. America is not in no position to be opening up. But we don't have a choice because we are led by a clown and, play stupid tricks, win stupid prizes. Like, we brought this on ourselves. But that is just my weekly hatred and disgust for stupid people. And they should be shamed. Dumb people should be forced to walk around with a D on their fucking forehead. Like, wear the mask. Wear the fucking mask. Stop going outside. Stop thinking you're invincible. There's a woman who works in a store that I used to go to a lot. She had a grandmother. She caught COVID and she gave it to her grandmother and her grandmother died 6 days later. How do I know this? Because her grandmother showed up on my table. And I went back to that same store not long after, and the person still didn't have a mask on. Weeping, crying. Oh, yeah, she passed away due to this stupid virus. I had a mask on. She had already killed one person. And maybe that's another thing I'm not taking into consideration. Maybe dumb people don't know that they're dumb. So here's a challenge to everybody. Starting now. Anytime you see someone not wearing a mask, just ask them, do you know you should be wearing a mask? And don't stick around for their answer. Just walk away. Because dumb people are dumb until they've been enlightened. So maybe they just need to be enlightened. Maybe they need the small push. Maybe you could be that small push. Be the driving change you want to see in the world. Yes, that is going to be my thing. I'm going to, every person that I can get in within close proximity, 6 feet apart, obviously, social distancing, I'm going to ask them, do you know you should be wearing a mask? And just walk away. And if I can get these recorded, I'm going to make a video about it. But until then, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's keep this engagement going on. Leave something in the comment section. Why do you think people don't want to wear a mask? Why are you wearing a mask? Let me know. Like, tell me about what your hypothesis or reasoning is for not wearing a mask and why you not wearing a mask and you being a dumbass shouldn't be something I should be calling you, because you are a dumbass for not wearing a mask. All right? Love you guys. Take care. I am so tired. I cannot. So I'm fasting, so I haven't had anything to drink or eat. These glasses they look really bad, but man, I'm telling you, it really takes a lot off the eyes. So And it's just because I have all these things.